Welcome to another episode of Touring Tartan Agriculture Park. As you can see, it's written here. And today, guys, we are going to look at the second most loved culture. That is the potatoes. So sit back and let us dive in as we go through this. Mr. David.
Yes, Felix. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing? Umekuaje? Long time?
Long time.
Leo umetuandalia nini?
Nimewaandalia vyakula. Wanaita madufu. Watu wa Nyandarua.
Watu wa Nyandarua.
By the way, viazi actually the second step of food in Kenya.
In Kenya?
Yeah, after maize.
Sure. As I said, it's the crop ya Nyandarua ni mawaru.
Yeah, so it's the second most diet inaweza kuwa considered after maize.
Mr. David, we want to look at the potato, what it takes from, that is the land preparation to harvesting and even storage. That is the journey from seeds to packing, if you can get right.
Yes.
Maybe if we start from the land preparation part. From soil, the type of soil, how to know this is the right soil meant for this, that we can get a good yield for potato. What do you mean?
So I said, of course, it's the second staple food after maize. Maybe matoke for the people of the Kisses. Well,
all the production. Know about the soil preparation. How do you test soil before planting? The key signs of a healthy potato soil. You can proceed.
Okay. We'll start, of course, the first thing before even the land preparation and the other analysis. Of course, it is the seed.
Yes.
Of course, you have to get the seed first, so that at least you can start the other things. Yeah. So the first thing you do is the seed.
Get the seed first.
Get the seeds first.
Okay.
Yes. And now, fetching the seed depends with the expanse that you want to plant.
Sure.
If it is an acre, you fetch the seed for 1 acre, half going like that. The first consideration that we consider in seed selection as the preference is normally potato have 3 grades. You have the first grade, the second grade, and the third grade. The first that always take around 25 to 35 ml. The second around 35 to around 65. Normally we call it the egg size preference. That's the best part, the best grade of seedling. Why? Because at least in the production side, it's going to bring the balancing on the production. The bigger with the smaller, but depending on your attendance of the field. Now the first thing in your consideration of the seed, normally we preserve potato seed in what we call seed diffusing room.
So you're saying I should look at the variety and seed selection first before considering?
First you consider that.
Okay.
Then what you do is the size first, and then the number of eyes, because each eye, the more it possesses the eye, the more it's going to produce the stolons, the rhizoids that will bore the fruits. Now after that, you preserve them in the diffusing room. That is if the propagation is by yourself. But if you go to the seeding company that produces the seeds, they also do that. The difference is that you're going to get the ready-made ones. But now if you are propagating by yourself, you consider your diffusing room in a light room, that no direct sunlight to prevent them from greening. And go in a dark room, it gives the development of a short, strong shoot. Yeah, that's the first thing to consider. After the seeding now, after you have considered your seed, you are ready with them, now you can come to your land preparation. Depending
before going to land preparation.
Yes.
Now that you brought us to seed selection, which seed is there varieties of potato seeds, and which one do you think that's best in Nakuru?
In Nakuru there are variety and a myriad of potatoes that do well. But again, in your considering for that selection, the seed should be free from any pathology, any infection, any other predation. Should be very free. Now, most of varieties do well here in Nakuru, like the
So
Shangi.
you
The
can't say
Shangi
you
is-
can't say it's a specific one.
No, most of them. Because now, for example, here in Nakuru, most of them that have been produced, they have been researched within,
Within
the area.
yeah.
So any seed that you fetch within the area, within the proximity of Nakuru, already they do well in this climate zone and the soil type. Yeah, they do well. Now, but there are so many varieties actually, depending with which one you want.
Maybe you mentioned
The
one or two
Shangi,
so that
we have the Shangi, we have the like of Asantes, we have the likes of the Dutch Ruby, we have the likes of ones they call the others, they call Mocorino, whatever. Every plant breeder can come with the flavor of his or hers, you see. Now, after considering that, you will select which one you use. Yeah, if you want to go for the Shangi, you want to go for the Dutch Ruby, you want to go for Mocorino, the Asantes,
Which one are
whatever,
we
the
using?
Mfalme. Now, for us today here, this are Shangi,
This is
super Shangi potato. A common one in this area, mostly because of the inference and the flavor. For the most people here, the chipo, they consider that.
It's the one that produces the big one.
Yeah. Actually, Felix, all potatoes once attended well. Produce a good
not that
maximum size.
they are
It's not a particular variety. Now, the size and the rate of production depend with your attendance in the farm. Yeah. So if you consider all things well, then your production will be high.
Mr. David, we've done seed selection and we've looked at variety now.
Yes.
We want to look at the land preparation. We want to get this kind of potato seed is going to do well in this type of seed. Take us there.
Okay. In land preparation, you consider first you do your first primary tillage, secondary, but you prepare your land at least the soil to be fine. Initially, these are tubers. They need a fine soil for the development of root and then for the development and the growth, enlargement of the tuber. So you prepare land well. If it is a primary cultivation, you do it. The secondary, you do it. And then if at least there is another way, if you can control the controlling of the weeds or the other things, you can spray them. By the time you're coming now to plant your seeds.
Meaning how early should land preparation start?
At least 1 month before you plant is sufficient, because that the decomposition of any seed, of any weeds, it's achieved. Any fine texture of clogs or whatever the thing is achieved. At least 1 month before planting is achieved.
So meaning potato, talking of potato doing well everywhere, meaning potato can be planted in different places.
They can be planted in different places,
Not
with
like
different soil zones also,
Okay.
and the climate zone also
Okay.
define a particular variety. Like for us, the variety we are dealing with, the Shangi, the Dutch, the Mfalme, the Mocorino, those ones, they are meant well for this area. Considering your pH that ranges for the potato, at least 6 or 5 there.
Or 6 to 5?
Yes. And then again, it's good to consider soil analysis of your land, because that one will give you the judgment which type of fertilizer you're going to use. Perhaps most farmers mistake that I just have to plant using fertilizer, maybe mostly DAP, the other ones maybe NPK or so. But soil analysis of your land is very key, because if you apply a fertilizer that is in excess in your farm, then it's going to be acidic, it's going to destroy the pH. So we encourage the farmer to consider the soil analysis of their farm before planting. It's going to give him even a good judgment. For example, maybe you can be having the land you are using, the formative years, they planted potatoes, and the pathology and the other infection of potatoes are still there within the resin. So you coming there then and doing your common land preparation and practices, you might mistake somewhere. So we encourage soil analysis and having a prehistory of the land before we do the planting.
Talking about potatoes being tubers, how high should the soil be raised for it to be?
For it, at least we encourage a good hill that goes around 45 centimeter, or even if you can manage, that is the depth, around even 30 to 45 is good. At least, because you see the molding part, you see now that is not now in the land preparation, that's coming with the other part of planting and the other, the adding up of the thing. So doing that to give a hill, a good, in the ridges, you add up your potato with at least a classic hill of soil. So that because this one is going to control other things like the other predators that you have for the pest, like the potato mold. When you raise well, you're going to reduce that. Again, raising well reduces the chances of, it's also control weeds, you see. And again, it gives a good ecological area, the surface area for the tuber as it develops. Yeah, because it needs a fine soil like that. Yeah.
We've looked at the varieties of seeds. We've done a seed selection.
Yes.
We've looked at the best soil types. Let us do the planting and field management.
Yeah, now a potato 1 acre ranges from around 800 to 1,000 kgs. That's for the seeds. Yeah, depending with the, you cannot really after how people plant, but at least 800 to 1,000 kg per acre, that's sufficient. Or roughly people, they estimate, most farmers estimate that with the number of bags, the 90 kg bags, maybe 8 to 10 bags per acre.
In terms of planting, looking at the kgs, also the spacing of the units.
Yeah, spacing also, we consider the intra, that is between stem to stem, should be 30 centimeter or 45, and then the inter, that's this line by line, should be at least 75, so that allowance give you a wider surface area for molding and for adding up. Yes.
And how often should you weed?
Depending, that's why I asked you earlier, you consider the prehistory of the land.
Okay.
Yeah, because there are some land that the history of weeds is high, but there are some who have already controlled that to a particular level. So how you attend, how you weed your land, or how you do it depends with the history of the land. If it is where the weeds is rampant, then you have to do the weeding not once.
Like this one is so beautiful. How often do you weed this
This
one?
this was the first one.
Okay.
This is the first one. But one thing was done here. Before planting, it was plowed, then harrowed. After that, it was sprayed. Yes. And then after that, we planted. After planting, once the plant germinated, again we came with it, sprayed. After spraying now, we came and add up. So that's why at least the level of controlling of weeds, it's a bit minimal. Yeah. And again, you consider sometimes having the stage at which you control or you do the adding up. Because after planting, we have different stages of potatoes. The first stage we call it sprouting, or the shoot sprouting. That's the stage where now the potato develop the shoots from the eyes, yes, by synthesizing the food that was in the tuber and the energy. After that, now you come to the second stage that we call it a vegetative stage. Vegetative stage is a stage where now there is development of leaves, the stems, like that. And you can see almost, it's normally about maybe can take to 15 around to 20 centimeter. Now that's the stage of adding your potato. Yeah, once it's a stage in the vegetative stage. Yeah. And then the third stage, we call it stem inhibition, tuber inhibition. That's the stage where now the tuber start to develop from the rhizoids beneath. And now that's another stage which is the best stage for top dressing, if you consider that. Remember the top dressing, you will do it from the analysis of your soil. Yes. Not all, because maybe at that stage you can find that your farm is still good, you don't need that. But that's the stage, the best stage for top dressing. Yeah. And then after that, tuber inhibition, the fourth stage that comes is the tuber bulking. Now that's the stage where the tube now bulk by absorption of carbohydrate, the nutrients, and the waters from the soil to develop. This one is normally the longest stage.
It takes how long?
It can last from 2 months to 3. That's the longest stage, because in that stage is now everything is done. And now the last stage, that is the maturity, the stage 5.
So like this one is in maturity.
Now this this one now is in stage 3. It means stage 3.
Okay.
Yeah. So again, soon, normally stage 3 and stage 4, they differ with the 2 weeks, because after stage 3, after 2 weeks, now the plant starts flowering. The potato starts flowering, and then it take another 2 weeks, then they shed off. As you can see, most of our potatoes have flowers. Yeah. After this one now, but this stage again, they, as I told you, they go not far away from the stage 4, because now if you consider here, the tuber inhibition is already there.
Okay.
Yeah. And then now we are going to be, after this, once the flowers have shedded off, then we're going to stem the stage 4, that is the tuber bulking. Yeah. And then after that, maturity stage.
Cutting it short, maybe talking of history of the soil.
Yes.
Does this one dictates the common pests and diseases that will affect your potato?
Yeah. As I said, your prehistory of the land can give you a guideline on how you're going to attend your field. If, for instance, your land, the aforementioned, the production was potatoes, then again you come and do the potato. Now, in terms of pests and diseases like the potato mold, the types of pathology, the infection like the bacteria wilt, the bacteria soft rot, the blight, such, there are some pathologies that they leave their residues in the soil. So if, considering the history of your farm, it's going to guide you what you're going to use. If it was for the same family of potato, then be sure you have to attend it from the real pest, from the real infections. Yeah, so that will give you a guideline. Like if it's the millipede, they'll be there. The month that's really produce and breed and build an inoculum of their breeding in that same land, they are going to be that case there.
Which control method works best for this?
For instance, like the like of mold, wilting, crop rotation is best. Yeah, with a different plant that is not in the same family. Yeah, because giving it the difference, the same family but a different crop, you haven't destroyed the inoculum of breeding of the other infestor. Yes.
Irrigation and fertilizer management always come at a cost, and sometimes you find people ignore this much. What fertilizer plan do you think can be used? Maybe, from example, the one you've used before in this place.
Yes. For our case here, we use the DAP. But mostly we have different fertilizers for the same of potatoes. Yeah. Considering, and then I cannot say that there is a particular fertilizer that doesn't fall in place with potatoes. All are good, considering which one you want. Because the maximum production, as I said, depends with your attendance of your potatoes. Yeah. Because in that, most of the attendance, like for example, what plague farmers most is the bacteria wilt. We have a bacteria soft rot. We have what else? We have the mold, and then we have the late blight and the early blight. Once you control those things and the field hygiene, your field hygiene is okay, and the fertilizer application or whatever is okay, depending with your soil analysis, then your production will be okay. Remember that these things are things like late blight and early blight, bacterial wilt. We don't have the curative part of those things. We don't have. What we only apply is the curative parts. So if you don't attend them early, and then you come and attend them late, once they have already infected them, once after an attack, then the remedy might be very minimal. Yeah. So we encourage at least scouting of your farm from planting. After the stage, the vegetative stage now, you can see the real plant.
So you should be revisiting
your
farm.
You scout your land at least twice in a week. You can be able to come, you can come and say, the judgment of your farm is like this. You can judge there is a particular infestation, this one and this one like that. That one will give you a good guideline on how we are going to attend your field.
talking of irrigation, how do you know that now this potato is good?
Most of our production are rain-fed. Yeah. So if not
For the sake
rain-fed,
of that person who
now
is,
for the irrigation part, it comes with an offset of the season. Yes, that's where irrigation applies. So once, of course, you apply, potato needs around 1800 to 2400 millimeter of water, annually like that. So irrigation comes when you're planting an offset of that, or if you are in an area in arid places there where there's no particular season of rain. But mostly here at rain-fed, irrigation comes when you're doing it an offset of season. But know in your mind that potatoes need moisture. They need moisture. So from planting, you apply your water, but not in excess. Yeah. The moderate part of it, apply after that. And that's why I asked you consider scouting your land. Because once you have this week, at least maybe you can say, consider you can give them irrigation, you can flush them, maybe like twice in a week, depending again with the weather. If the radiation is higher, evaporation is high, of course it will need frequent watering. But if it's not, then of course the watering will be seldom. So, but at least twice in a week, well drenched. That's okay.
like you guys in Nakuru, you are blessed with rainwater.
Yeah.
So you can, how long, after talking about all this, how long can it last? Maybe also those who are watching, does potato take to be in there?
Potato, depending on the varieties, they take 3 to 4 months.
Okay.
Yeah, they take 3 to 4 months, depending on the variety that you consider. And again, sometimes it depends with your essence for the production. A seed producer, farmer, their potatoes would take that 3 or that 4 months, because we need to harvest the seeds before the late in the stage, because you're going to prevent other infection that comes in the late time that plant. So for the seeding people, they can consider that taking it to 2 or maybe to 3 months there before the late maturity. But the normal one for the production, for consumption, for the marketing, 3 or 4 months, around 120 days out there. Yeah.
We've now planted and we've harvested now. Let us see we've harvested. Talking of storage, there are people who say you see when actually from my experience when you store potatoes made in a certain place, they start coming thick. How can you prevent this? Maybe you tell us the best way of storing potatoes.
Potatoes, actually, if I can maybe give you an identity of that, from the last stage as the maturity, there is what we call the halming. The halming, that is slashing the plant itself once it's mature. And then now, you graze it still in the field, at least for it to mature and the skin to grow at least thick, well, and mature without any erosion like that. So you can do the halming. Once you have dehalmed your potatoes, they can stay there like 1 to 2 months, still in the ground to once, half, if the weather is fine, no excess moisture.
There's no need of taking them in a room.
So, but if you want to, after your dehalming and you want to preserve them, you can take them in a room, as I said, in a cool room, in a diffusing room, to give them a preservative and of course to extend their age. Yeah, because once in a room temperature there, they can stay again 2 to 3 months. Yeah, but it should be free again from any infestation. And again, after harvesting, we do sorting. So the slice one, the one that have been cut mistaken, the accidental one, the one that have been affected by anything, we sort them aside. You only grade the best one that you're going to take in a warehouse. Yeah.
We've done all that. Averagely, how much do you think 1 acre of potato can come somewhere?
Around 14 to 30,000 tons. That's around 14,000 to 30,000 tons. Yeah, or kgs, I mean.
That's money.
That's kgs. Now that one will depend on how much is your kg by then. Yeah.
So you can say I can change my life with potato.
If something that is staple, of course the consumption is, like I can give you a case study of analogy of the environment within the school, and even not within the school. but other producers. There is no any time. You see, the potato normally, the demand is so high. Yeah, you find in a month, 2 or 4 months after they have production, the harvesting, the potatoes are depleted in the market. Today, that's the 20 kgs was 400. After that, you get it 800, 600. So once again, to give you that's the lump sum money, you have to consider again your season and the demand curve. Mostly the demand curve comes between February to April. Why? Because most farmers have told you, we produce depending on the season, the rain fed. So most people produce at that time. But now if the demand curve comes from February to around April there, that's the time where we don't have rains. So most producers who produce, they are out of stock. So for you, now that's where the guy with the farmer with irrigation falls in. He produces that time until that time. Now he have a command in the price that he's selling.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. David. That was so encouraging, and I'm hoping to see you next.
Next, you have so many things to cover, so much of that to cover.
Crops to cover. Right?
There was this, next time we're going to come with the other one.
And you can guarantee them that?
I can guarantee them. And any other crop that they have as their aftermath, they can consider.
Guys, that was potato farming. Mr. David has explained to everyone whatever you wanted to hear. For those who are considering maybe starting up a potato farming somewhere, that is from the seed selection, type of soil, what you need to do in irrigation, disease management, harvesting, and even storage. Thank you for your time. I go by the name Felix Manyango. See you in the next episode of Touring Carton Agriculture.